Now in this video lecture we will discuss about the various characteristics of the respiratory organs. So and we in previous video lecture we have discussed about the respiration and types of respiration. So let us start with the topic under the breathing and exchange of gases. Breathing and exchange of gases. This is our chapter, and from this chapter we are going to discuss first about the characteristics or features of respiratory organ. So there are some common features of respiratory organ. So we will discuss one by one here. So the first feature of respiratory organ is that thin membrane. It means the surface of respiratory organ should be thin. So thin membrane or thin surface of respiratory organ ensure the easy or maximum diffusion of respiratory gases, because the gases transfer or exchange between the various places by the help of diffusion process, and diffusion can be easily occur along with the thin membrane. So the first criteria for the respiratory surface of respiratory organ is the thin membrane. Now the membrane should be moist. So the membrane or surface of the respiratory organ should be moist, which ensure the diffusion process of respiratory gases also, because the gases always diffuse in soluble state in the case of the living body or animal's body. So the surface should be moist. And the third category, third feature or criteria of the respiratory surface, it is large surface area. Large surface area. So this large surface area will be ensure the maximum exchange of gases in our respiratory organ, and that maximum exchange of gas ensure the maximum supply of oxygen to our body cell, and maximum supply of oxygen to our body cell ensure the maximum formation of energy, which make our body efficient in all kinds of work or metabolism. Next criteria feature is the respiratory organ. It should be highly vascular. The respiratory organs should be highly vascular. It means the respiratory organs must contain the network of blood capillaries around the surfaces of respiratory organ. So that will be ensure the medium for absorption of these gases and release of these gases, or the medium for the exchange of gases. So we have studied that exchange of gases in respiratory organ take place between the blood and the respiratory organ, that is alveoli in the case of human being. So there must be the supply of blood or high vasculation system over the respiratory organ. So these are the main criteria or features of respiratory organ of human being, or in the case of human being. Now we will discuss about the various pigments. Various pigments which involve in the transport of these gases, these respiratory gases. means at the place of respiratory organ or respiratory surface, after exchange of gases, these gases need to be transported in a medium which are known as body fluid, and inside the body fluid there must have some pigments that bind with the respiratory gases to transfer from one place to other place inside the blood. So a common pigment which is found in all mammalian, which is known as hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is one of the abundant pigment for respiratory gases, and it consists of iron, or it is an iron containing compound, and we see easily in the case of all mammalians. So mammals consist of iron containing pigment known as hemoglobin for the transport of gases. Now the other pigment or respiratory pigment we also observe is hemoerythrin. So hemoerythrin is also an iron containing compound, and this is found in earthworm. So both are the iron containing compound or iron containing pigment, so they reflect red color to the body fluid. So this is the reason why the blood of human being is red in color, and also the blood of earthworm red in color, slightly red or pink in color due to presence of iron. Now the third pigment we also can see that hemocyanin. And hemocyanin is a copper containing compound which is found in most of the mollusks. So in mollusca phylum, the animals carry hemocyanin, which is a copper containing compound in their body. Now the next one is echinochrome. And echinochrome is the pigment for respiratory gases and which contain the iron. It means it is also an iron containing compound, and this pigment is found in echinodermata. It means the animals of echinoderm carry the pigment which is known as echinochrome, which is also iron containing compound, and these are the various kind of pigments which are found in different kind of living organisms. Now we will discuss about the various respiratory organs, the types of respiratory organ. So in various kind of animals, in previous class we have discussed the classification of animal kingdom Animalia, and we have studied the different groups of animal kingdom from Conifera to chordates. So a variety of structure for the process of respiration we have observed in different level. So we will discuss here one by one about them. So the first respiratory organ we will discuss here is the skin. So in some animals we have seen easily that skin is the respiratory, skin acts as the respiratory organ, that is for the exchange of gases between the body and the atmosphere. So the types of respiration are respiration take place through skin. It is known as cutaneous respiration. And this is the most common example of annelida. So most of the annelids perform respiration by the help of their skin, or they do the exchange of gases between their body and the atmosphere using skin, and that kind of respiration is known as cutaneous respiration. Now, one other structure which acts as a respiratory organ, and this is in the case of the aquatic animals and through gills. So the process of respiration takes place through gills is known as branchial respiration. Branchial respiration. And we can see the example like fish. Fish are the most common example that can do the process of respiration or do the exchange of gases between the atmosphere and their body. And this is one of the structure that make able the living organism found in aquatic habitat to make sure or to ensure the exchange of gases in dissolved state or dissolving water. So this is the branchial respiration and occurs through gills. The third one is tracheae. And tracheae is the tubular pipe-like structure which is found in most of the terrestrial insect. So in Arthropoda, we can easily observe in the case of terrestrial insect the network of tracheae which opens through spiracles. So spiracles are the opening of tracheae, and this tracheae respiration through tracheae, it is known as tracheal respiration. Tracheal respiration, and this is found in most of the insects. These insects are the example of tracheal respiration, in which their body consists of a network of tubes in their body, and through these tubes the fresh air get entered through an opening which is known as spiracle, which is found in all body segment or most of the body segment of their body. So spiracle opening leads to the tracheae, and tracheae transfer these gases to the various body organs for the process of respiration. And this is the type of respiration or respiratory organ found in mostly insect. Now, next is the lungs. So lung is the respiratory organ of most of the terrestrial animals, and it is a highly advanced, it is the mode of it is the respiratory organ of highly advanced organism. So the respiration through lung is known as pulmonary respiration. Pulmonary respiration, and this is found in the human, or most of the terrestrial animals carry lungs like apes, amphibian, reptiles as well as mammalian. These are living organism, or these animals carry lungs as a respiratory organ, and the respiration process through the lungs is known as pulmonary respiration. Now, the next respiratory organ we can also observe in some insect is the hook lungs. So hook lung is the example which is found mostly in the case of king crab. King crab carry hook lungs for the process of respiration as the respiratory organ, which is also the part of food or insect. Next is hook gills. Hook gills is the example of king crab. King crab carry hook gills, while hook lungs is found in scorpion and the spider. Scorpion and spider are the insect which is a kind of insect that do not carry trachea system. They have a special structure which is appear like lungs, which is known as hook lungs. And through the hook lungs, they are able to do the process of exchange of gases between the atmosphere and their body. And the next structure is hook gills, which is also a gills-like structure, but this is not the real gills, so it is called hook gills, which is found in king crab. So this animal is sometimes live in water, so they can do the process of respiration or exchange of gases with the help of gills-like structure, which are able to do the exchange in dissolved state. So this is about the breathing and exchange of gases. So these are the three topics we have studied. That is, first is the feature of respiratory organ. So these are the various features which must carried by or which must shown by the various respiratory organ. It means these all kind of respiratory organ must show these features. That means the thin membrane, the moist surface. The surface should be moist. Our respiratory surface should be moist, and the third is large surface area. So and fourth one highly vascular. So these are the criteria, these are the features which can be shown or followed by these respiratory organs. And we have also discussed about the various pigments which are helpful for transportation of the respiratory gases in the case of animal's body. So this is all about the basic information about the respiratory organs. Now in next video lecture we will discuss about the mechanism of respiration in the case of animals, mostly in the case of human beings. Now as this chapter is the part of human physiology, which is the unit, so the main topic or the main process of respiration we discuss about the human being. So let us start with the respiratory system of human being. In the breathing and exchange of gases chapter, the main topic is respiratory system of human. So the respiratory system of human being consists of two components. The first component is the respiratory tract. And the second component is the respiratory organ. That is lungs. A pair of lungs. So in this video lecture we will discuss only the respiratory tract and small part of respiratory tract, because there are various parts in the respiratory tract of human being. So first let us start with the respiratory tract. With the help of diagram we can easily understand the about the respiratory tract. So suppose this is the nose and nose, ears, so nose open through the nostril, and a pair of nostril present on the face of human being, and this nostril open into the chamber, and this chamber is known as nasal chamber. Chamber is known as nasal chamber, and this nasal chamber found above the buccal cavity, which is separated by a plate-like structure which is known as palate. So above the palate, the nasal chamber is found, and this nasal chamber play a very important role during the process of respiration or during the breathing process. So nasal chamber again divided into three parts. So the nasal chamber, which is found above the palate, it is divided into three different parts. So the first part is vestibular chamber. The nasal chamber divided into three categories. The first category of first part of nasal chamber is known as vestibular chamber. The second is the respiratory chamber. Respiratory chamber, and then the last one is the olfactory chamber. And these three parts of nasal chamber play the important role differently as their function. So the vestibular part of the nasal chamber is responsible for filtration of air. Filtration of air. It means vestibular part filtrate the air that we inhale. So that filtration of air takes place with the help of the structure inside the vestibular chamber. So the vestibular chamber is lined by the air. So the first lining of the chamber is air with air, and the second is mucus lining. So lining of the vestibular chamber is by air as well as mucus. So air and mucus together perform the process of filtration of air that we breathe in. So the breathing air may contain a number of unfavorable components, that may be the dust particle or the other components pollen. So the first function of the breathing by the nasal chambers is the filtration of air, and the second, which is known as respiratory chamber, and the respiratory chamber is responsible for the air conditioning. So the conditioning of air takes place in respiratory chamber of nasal chamber, and that respiratory chamber consists of, it is lined by mucous membrane. To perform the air conditioning process, we have mucous membrane as well as the vascular membrane. It means the membrane of respiratory chamber are mucus secreting as well as highly vascular. So how the air conditioning take place are performed by respiratory chamber. So there are two techniques. or two conditions. The first condition, when we inhale warm air, then what will be happening? So when we inhale warm air during the summer season, the atmosphere contains warm air. So when we inhale warm air, so the more mucus release, from the mucous membrane of respiratory chamber, and that increase to, so more mucus release perform the process of evaporation. And for the evaporation process, the heat taken by the particles of mucus or the particles of water from the evaporation, by taking heat from warm air. It means the heat that make the air becomes warm, that heat is taken by the mucus to becomes evaporate, and that leads to the air becomes cool. Leads to air become cool. While the other second situation is what? When we inhale cold air. So when we inhale cold air, then increase supply of blood, and that blood ensure, or blood radiate heat inside the air, or that supply of blood ensure the radiation of heat into the air or into the nasal chamber, and that heat make the rising of temperature of air, leads to heat air that we inhale. So the air that we inhale, that becomes warm due to the radiation of heat by the supply of blood in our nasal chamber. So these are the two functions together make the air conditioning system of the respiratory chamber. Now the third part of the nasal chamber, which is known as olfactory chamber, and the main function of olfactory chamber is to detect the smell. So during the process of breathing, we also require the detection of smell of the air that we breathe. So to check the air is fresh or foul air. So for that purpose, respiratory chamber lined by olfactory cells or olfactory nerves, and these olfactory cells receive or perceives the smell of the air that we breathe. So in this way, the nasal chamber perform three main functions from the three different regions of the chamber. So this is all about the nasal chamber, and now